Hey guys, welcome in this new video. I hope that all of you are doing great. In today's video, we are continuing with the trade breakdown series with a very good trade on USDCAD. Before I start, as always, if you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you do that so that way you are sure to not miss any new videos coming out. Alright, so as I said, we will take a look at a trade on USDCAD. It was a very good trade. So first of all, here is the profit of that trade. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw the evolution of that trade because I've been in that trade for about 2 days. So I posted a few times about it in my story. As you saw, that was a pretty good trade. Not a long-term trade. It was more of a short-term trade, even we could say, because I had no plan to keep that trade for the long term. I was just looking for a short-term move and then wait to see what the market was going to do after making the movement. So that is exactly what we will see. So let's actually jump on the chart and take a look at this trade. Okay, so we're now on my chart. Let's take a look at this USDCAD trade. So first of all, it was a very good trade. As you guys saw, I made 2.8% profit if I remember correctly, so it was a pretty good trade. I actually had 2 positions on that trade, which is something that we will see. Before I get into it, I just want to say one thing. I got a question from someone that asking me why I was not talking about everything that you guys see on the chart. Well, the reason is very simple. I've said that already multiple times, but basically I have a trading course, right? So I need to keep a lot of information for my students. Those are always going to be the people that I prioritize because I work with those people on a daily basis. So of course I will keep all the information, not all the information, but a good part of the information for them, simply because that's the people that I want to give the information because they actually decided to join us. So that's the idea behind it. But here, as I oftentimes explain, I'm basically giving you guys the overall view of the market, the overall understanding and how we look at charts, and hopefully that it will help you and that you can learn something new from those videos. That's really the goal, and those videos are also there for people who are new to trading so that they can already have a very good start and a very good foundation to fully understand what they're doing and already be in the right direction and focus on what they have to learn to become successful in this industry. So let's actually get right into it. So first of all, let me show you guys the overall view of the market. So on the weekly chart on the USD CAD, it's still unsure what this is doing for the very long term. We have 2 main possibilities. One of them is that we could go back up and retest those levels. That's the first thing. The other possibility is that all of this is a pattern for more downside here. So those are the 2 very long-term forecasts, but obviously those long-term forecasts don't really have nothing to do according to my trade because, as I said, it was more of a short-term trade. So let's actually go on the daily chart. So the first thing that we can notice here is that we have a move down and we're getting a pattern here. We're getting probably a corrective structure. Now maybe that it will turn out to not be a corrective structure. I'll not go further into that, but that is also a possibility. Maybe that it could actually be the start of an impulse. Even if it looks like it's not that, it could still be that when it comes to the technical side of trading and how we look at patterns. So that's the first thing that we have to keep in mind. We are trading around those levels. So when we go on the lower time frame, let's take a look at the 4-hour first of all. So you see here that we have a move up, which is probably an impulse, and then we're getting another correction here, right? So we have a move down, we have a move up, and we are making maybe another pattern here. That is also a possibility, or we could also just be coming down like this. I don't think they're doing that, but the main possibility that I'm looking for is that this is a pattern. We might see one more up, depending on which level it breaks or doesn't break. We might see after that even a downside. So those are the very general and main situation that I'm expecting on the higher time frame. As I said, those situations don't really have nothing to do with my trade because that was more on the lower time frame, which was here on the 1 hour. So let's actually go there. So as you guys saw in the profits, I had 2 positions on this pair, right? Which ended up, well, both in profit, and they both were pretty good trades. But I had two positions, and there is a very specific reason for that. So let me show you why did I have two positions. So when this pattern here was forming, the first way that I was looking at this pattern was this being a pattern here in itself. So that was my first forecast. I had one move down, I had this pattern, and I was expecting more downside here. So when we actually started going down here, we made a correction, and when we broke out of the correction, I decided to take the trade. Now, of course, it's not that simple, right? Let me just make this very clear, because sometimes people are like, oh, Anthony, it's so simple how you trade. No, it's not that simple. Here I'm making, as I said, more simple for everyone to understand. I want these videos to be understood by everyone, as I said, so that everyone can actually learn something from them. That's really the goal and the idea behind those videos. So anyway, so I took the trade around those levels. My target, as I said, was, well, for one more down here. Between those two levels, you see that I have those two blue lines, basically, and I was looking at somewhere around those levels. Now, I had no stop on that trade. Now, I know that it's not something that you hear often on the internet, because people always say, oh, you need a stop, you need to use this, that, the other. Depending on your level of knowledge and experience, you may decide in certain situation to not use a stop, and it's not a bad idea, right? So that is something a lot more complex to understand, and a lot more precise than just the overall thing that we're looking here. So I cannot even go into that, because I'm still testing that myself, seeing how it works and how everything takes place when I actually apply that strategy that I'm testing, as I said. So that's the idea, but that was the point of this trade, to not have a stop, because even if this did not go down right now, I knew that eventually it would go down because of how I was looking at the structure, and it ended up, well, doing what I thought it could do. So that was my entry. After that, it spiked up, right? And I remember, like, that was funny, because I posted that I had taken this trade here when it was going down. After that, it spiked up. I got so many messages from people who were like, oh my god, Anthony, you will blow your account, you will lose everything, blah blah blah. Right? People were freaking out of that trade, because they saw that I was selling and that it spiked up after that. And I just said, no, chill, right? Like, relax, don't trade out of panic, right? I think that this is something, and I hope that this is something that you guys are able to see and learn from these videos. I'm never panicking. I'm always relaxed when it comes to trading. Like trading is not like, you know, it's not like, it's not a basketball game, right? Like, you're not always clicking everything and everything is moving so fast and all that. No, trading should be fun and peaceful, right? Like, I don't need to panic. So when everyone was freaking out here because it made a little upside, well, that was part of my plan. As I just said, I didn't use a stop loss, and that was the exact point of doing that, because I knew this could go back up here and still go back down after that. So if I had used a stop, it would have been here, and I would have taken a 1% loss on that trade, right? So that's the idea. Now, to make it very clear as well, I'm not recommending anyone to do this. I even said that to my students in our trading group at Reversal Master. I said, don't do what I'm doing, right? Like, as I said before, doing that type of trading requires a lot of experience and a lot of understanding of what you're doing. So no one should do that. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just sharing with you guys what I'm doing. But you should not try to copy or try to do what I'm doing, because it will most likely not work, especially if you are not in Reversal Master, because I just have more experience, right? And that's something, you know, I'm going now in my 4th year of trading, right? So I'm starting to have some good experience. But if you don't have a lot of experience, you should trade with a stop loss. It's always better that way, especially if you are new, because you want to prevent yourself from blowing your account, which is something that a lot of people do, unfortunately. So too much rant here. Let me actually get back into the chart. Okay, so I had a trade here. I was looking for the downside. It spiked up, no worries. I stick with that trade. After that, when it got back at those levels, as I said at the beginning, I was looking at this here being a pattern. When it went back around those levels with the spike up here, I realized that it was not making that pattern and that this was one and that we were getting another one here. So I changed my view of the market at this point, and then I looked out for another sell setup. We got this, we got this. When we broke out, I decided to take another trade here. So at this point, this one also didn't have any stop loss, by the way, just to make it very clear. So at this point, I had two sell. I had one from here and another one from here. And after that, well, as you guys can see, it just ended up going down, breaking those levels, which is the target that I was going for. If you guys saw on Instagram, I actually posted the screenshot of when I took the trade before the move happened, and my arrow was literally like this. Like that was the exact place I was looking at, and it just made the down move. I got out of my two positions here, and it went right back up after that, after hitting my target. So when it comes to the execution of that trade, this couldn't have been better. That was a 100% perfect execution. Now, as I said, this is not, first of all, this is not something that will always happen, right? I don't sometimes execute my trade 100% perfectly. We're still humans, right? We're still doing sometimes mistake or maybe not the best decisions at all time, and it's part of trading, right? I don't think that it's something that you can totally remove from trading, but it's more of how you can handle those situations and how you can manage your own emotions for it to not happen too often, right? That's the idea behind it. But yeah, so that was a very good execution. So I had this trade here, this other trade here, and I just ended up losing both trades here at those levels because I was looking for a very likely possibility for a reversal, which is exactly what we got. So yeah, that was a overall very good trade, as I said, and we saw, well, pretty much a good part of, as I said, the information about that trade. So the overall view of the market, the analysis, the entry, the stop, well, there was no stop here, and the target. So yeah, that was the trade breakdown for USDCAD. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, I hope that it helped you and that you learned something from it. If you did, please share this video around you. I would truly appreciate it. That would mean a lot to me. And that way, well, you are sure to help at least another person that will see this video. All right? So thank you so much for watching. Once again, take care, trade with care, manage your money well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.